All right, guys, so it is close to February and time to get that bullet journal for your prayer bullet journal done. So this is my February plan with me bullet journal video for you guys. And the first page that I started with was a quote that says, always love yourself first, because it is February and it's all about love and hearts and fun. So I decided to use the heart theme, obviously, for the month of February, so that's not surprising, I'm sure. But I just love hearts, and they're simple to draw, and they're easy to do, and I used some Cupid arrows as well, so that it could kind of decorate up my pages. So I just did the faux calligraphy here, so all I did was draw it out, and then remember, you're going to thicken up the downstrokes of each of your letters to make that calligraphy. And then I decided to just do some hanging hearts, and I just painted some of them black and some of them with my Crayola color marker red. Actually, it's like more of a burgundy color. It's not really the bright red that I used. But so I drew those hearts out, colored them in, and then added strings to them so they looked like they were hanging from the page. And I did 3 of those strands on my quote page. Then once I did that, I moved over to my title page, which is February, and I wrote out the title February, and I did the same thing with the faux calligraphy. I did thicker strokes on the downstrokes and filled those in with my chisel marker. And remember, I used the .05 marker for my handwriting, and then when I want to thicken them up, I either use my brush pen or my chisel marker pen. And then what I did was I just drew this circle. It was just kind of a crazy little circle, and I just added hearts around it, and then added in where I needed to fill in the circle. And I colored some of them in black and some of them in my red. And then I decided to pull out this cute little camera stamp that I have, because it's got this little heart on the front of it, so it went perfectly with my theme. And I stamped these little cameras on there with the hearts. And then it was time to move on to my memory verse page. So remember, I committed this year to doing 2 memory verses per month. And so each month I'm going to have a page of my memory verses so that I can remember to write those down and put them into my brain for memory. So I did the faux calligraphy, and I thickened up my downstrokes and got memory verses written out. And then I decided this month I was going to do hearts for the boxes for me to write my memory verses in. So each one of those hearts will have 1 verse in it each. And then I just added my detail of the strings with the hearts and colored those in with red. And I did some Cupid arrows on the other side just to add in a few more little doodles and details. And then I just colored all of that in with my red marker and my black chisel pen as well. And then I went and added some white highlights with my white gel pen. Then it was time to move on to my habit tracker, and this month I'm going to be tracking my sleep, and I'm going to be tracking my prayer time, and I'm going to be tracking my runs. And so I decided that I would do my habit tracker in block letters, so I did that and just used my chisel pen to add in a little bit of highlights on those to make them a little thicker. And then I drew this circle with these Cupid arrows coming out from each of the sections that I'm going to track. So each arrow represents half of the month, and so I have 3 things I'm going to track. So I have 6 different arrows, and then what I'm going to do is down each arrow I'm going to write the days of the month. And so I go up to 14, and then I go up to 28 on the next one, and I will be doing red dots all the way up the arrow, and then once I get to the tip of the arrow for that day, I will be coloring that in with red. So when it's all done, the page is going to have lots of red color on it. I did go ahead and add dots to the center circle so that it would start with a little bit of color. So I put those red dots all the way around, and then I added some more of the cameras on there, because I just love those cameras. They're so cute, and they have a little heart on them, so they just spiced up the page a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'll just be adding in dots all the way down, and I wrote beside each arrow which what habit it is that I am tracking. So hopefully it will be full of red dots because my habits are going to be good and solid this month. And then it was time to do my weekly spread, where I will write in the summary of my Bible study for the day and also any tasks or anything that I need to get done that day. So I made it pretty simple this month. All I did was write the days of the week out and draw a line out beside them and make it in a block format of lessons and then tasks. Then I just matched the cover that I started with on February, and I drew circles and then the hearts around it and filled those hearts in, and then I put the number, the day of the month inside the circle. And so I did that, and I continued to do that all the way throughout the whole week. And then once I got that done, I added a little note section at the bottom with some Cupid arrows that turned out really cute. And so that is my February journal for the month. So I have my quote page and my cover page, my verse page, verse 1 and verse 2, and then my habit tracker that I'll be doing up the arrows, and then my weekly spread. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys have a great day.